Namaskaram Raghuvanji, Renuka here.
Namaskaram. Thank you.
Glad to join.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Shri Shailabhijanamburashishanam Sri Krishna Tatatmajam Sri Shailanve Devanatha Sudhya Praptagamantatdvayam Padabje Narsimhatate Guroho Nyastatma Rakshabharam Vidvadvrinda Chakora Chandinamaham Ramanujaryam Shraye Shriranga Sudha Madhusamaswadayantam Shriranga Mahishi Padapankajatmajam Sulabhashrayam Sadamuda Siddhamadbhutam Bhajeham Gurum Tam Ranganatha Priyam Sukhasanastham Hridayabjapithe Jinmudraya Lankrita Pani Padmam Shubhopavitam Vimalodhapundram Namami Rangam Gurum Antarange Namami Yoga Samrajñim Vijayam Vijayapradam Srirangardhasanasīnām Karunām Mamataram Guru Rupa Paranjyotihi Jyoti Rupa Guru Paraha Ajnana Mandiram Yetate Kuru Vijnana Mandiram Mukhaṁ Karoti Vācālam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yontah Pravishya Mama Vācamimāṁ Prasuttam Sanjīvayatyakila Shaktidhara Swadhamna Anyamsha Hastacharana Shravanatvagadine Pranān Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Jayatya Santrasa Dhvanta Vidvamsanodaya Prabhavan Sitaya Devya Paramavyoma Bhaskaraha Sakrideva Prapannaya Tavasmiti Chayachate Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyaha Dadam Yetat Pratam Mama Manojavam Martatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayutha Mukyam Shriramadutam Shirasa Namami Vedavedye Pare Pumsi Jate Dasharathatmaje Veda Pracheta Sadasite Sakshad Ramayanatmana. With salutations to our Guru and the Guru of all Gurus, we'll commence our session today. I guess many of you are fresh from the Easter break. I hope to see more continuity going forward. And as usual, those of you who have unlimited bandwidth, you can switch on your videos. Those with unlimited inhibitions, maybe you can continue to be video off mode. So today's session again is I'm not sure if there are kids who are listening to this today. So this will also be a A-rated session. So the parents are advised discretion. Okay. If at all there are kids listening to it. So we are in the 10th Sarga of Srimad Sundara Kandam. And this is the Mandodari Darshanam, right? Many times we call it as Mandodari. It is not Da, it is Da, Manda Udari. Okay, perhaps she had a supple stomach. That's why she's called Mandodari. Okay, it's not Mandodari. Then that's something you should keep in mind. So I think what we saw in the last session is a description of the innermost palace among all the palaces of Ravana. And our Hanuman, he actually first looks at, in the previous chapter we have seen, he looks at thousands of Ravana's wives. They were all sleeping on the carpets, isn't it? And how exquisite that place was. Then he moves to the Antapuram, and here also he sees many beautiful damsels and demonesses who are inside the prakaram. And we see a very good description of the mancham or the couch of Ravana, how dazzling it is. There are so many pillars of light all around. And slowly he turns his gaze towards Ravana himself, isn't it? And we had a Suprabhatam for Ravana in the last class. We saw how he is described in terms of his Mahabahu and how his two arms and shoulders are described in great detail. They look like mountains themselves, isn't it? And eventually now we are going to look at how Hanuman is going to describe more dances, demonesses, who are there in the Antapuram. So I think we ended our last session in the 30th slokam, isn't it? Padamula gatas chapi dadarsha sumahatmanaha patni sa priyabharyasya tasya rakshapate grihe. Isn't it? So Hanuman saw, several dear wives of Ravana who were in some sense resting at his feet and clinging on to him. We'll continue our slokas now from 31 onwards. Sashi prakasha vadanas charu kundala bhushitaha amlana malya bharanaha dadarsha hariyuthapaha. So this sloka essentially says Hariyuthapaha, the leader of all Vanaras. What did he say? Sashi prakasha vadanaha charu kundala bhushitaha. He saw many women who essentially had a graceful face resembling that of the moon. Shashina, moon. Moon land varkukudi prakasham eppadi irukko adhe madiri avangalde vadanangal irundhathu, their faces. Charu kundala bhushitaha. They were adorned with beautiful earrings. Kundalangal nandraga irundhathu. Charuna nandraga beautiful irundhathu. Amlana malya bharanaha. They were wearing fresh garlands which are made of different types of flowers. That's what Hanuman saw. Dadarsha. Nrittavaditra kushalaha rakshasendra bhujangakaha varabharana dharinyo nishanna dadrishe harihi. Harihi is Hanuman. Hari naga. It also means monkey, isn't it? But Hari is also somebody who has control over his mind. Hari is somebody who removes our papas. Hari is somebody who attracts us towards himself. There are many meanings of this word. Harihi nrittavaditra kushalaha. So he now looks at several women who are very, very proficient in nrittam and geetam, who are good at dancing and are actually playing musical. Vaditram dinaka, those who are able to play musical instruments. Okay, in the madri choral serilla musical instruments. So they resort to playing musical instruments. So he saw many of them. Rakshasendra bhujangakaha. So where were they? Abdinaka, they were all resting on the arms and laps of Rakshasendra Ravana. Rakshasendra Bhujam Ankam. This rendithley ava rest pannittirukka. Rendu irukanga. Seriya? So that shows how huge our villain is, Ravana is. Varabharana dharinyaha nishannaha dadrishe. So they were all again wearing different types of jewelry. Varamaga irukkakudiya abharanangal. Adu dharichinde, they were all leaning on his shoulder or they were resting on his lap. Vajravaidurya garbhani Sravananteshu yoshitam dadarshatapaniyani kundalanyangadani cha. Yoshitani Yoshitam Shravananteshu Vajravaidurya. So they had encrusted diamonds and Vaiduryas which were fixed to their ears, Shravananteshu, and Tapaniyani Kundalani Angadani cha. So it's a description of the various ornaments that they were wearing. Ennala irundhathu shining armlets of gold and Tapaniyani, that which is melted and then worn. That's basically gold. Kundalani, earrings. Angadani, they had bracelets worn around the upper arms. Inga potukkathukku per Angadam. So that's what Hanuman Dadarsha. तासां चन्द्रोपमैर्वक्त्रैः शुभैर्ललितकुण्डलैः विरराज विमानं तत् नभस्तारागणैरिव. So ललितकुण्डलैः चन्द्रोपमैः शुभैः तासां वक्त्रैः. So they were wearing really lovely earrings, lalita kundalam. Chandropamaihi shubhaihi. Again, they were resembling the brilliance of moon. And shubham, beautiful. Tasam vaktraihi, their faces were essentially illumined like that of Chandra. Tat vimanam taraganaihi nabhaha iva viraja. They were actually lying on the cot of Ravana, and this itself was lit up by all the jewelry that these ladies were wearing. That's what it means. Tan nabhastara ganiriva viraraja. It was resplendent. Madavyayama khinnasta rakshasendrasya yoshitaha teshu teshvavakasheshu prasuptastanu madhyamaha. Madavyayama khinnaha. So they're all drunk, isn't it? That's something we have already seen. And vyayamam, they are all basically exhausted after all the play that they had among themselves as well as with Ravana. Tanu madhyamaha taha rakshasendrasya yoshitaha teshu teshu avakasheshu prasuptaha. That's how we unfurl the slokam. So they were all exhausted, and essentially they slept here and there on the cot. Teshu teshu avaka engala edam kadichirukko anga they were happily sleeping, and their slender waists were visible. Tanu madhyamaha is the waist part of our body. That was all visible there. Okay, so all the directors of Tollywood, Collywood, etc. So we know what they do here. So the camera, imagine the camera is moving around, Hanuman is seeing all these people. And of course, it's an explanation of what he actually saw there, as is, where is. Okay. Right. So we are in sloka number 36. Yeah, 35 mudicham. Teshu teshu avakash. Correct. Angaharaistathaivaanya komalair nritashalini vinyasta shubha sarvangi prasupta varavarnini. From this sloka onwards, there is an explanation of how different Rakshasis, they are all sleeping. Most of them are exhausted, tired. Some of them half eyes open, some actually fully sleeping. But because they were all very good at playing musical instrument, dancing, singing, etc., each sloka is going to now describe a different version of the ladies there. In the sloka, Anyaha nrittashalini varavarnini. These are dancesses. And they are exceedingly beautiful in complexion. Varavarnini. Okay. Attadu komalaihi angaharaihi tathaiva vinyasta shubha sarvangi. So essentially, they had a delicate body, and they had rhythmic movements of their dance. Angaharaihi tathaiva vinyasta shubha sarvangi. That is dance la you may make many kinds of vinyasangal. Yeah. And they were making those signs, and they are sleeping with those signs themselves. So different types of mudras they probably had. And atode thungindrukan artham in the slokatla. Essentially, they had different postures because of the fact that they were dancesses. They were displaying the movements of their limbs and sleeping in that very same posture. Kachidvinam parishvajya prasupta samprakashate mahanadi prakirneva nalini potamashrita. Veenam parishvajya. So there is another lady who is hugging her veena. Okay, parishvajyana, hugging. Prasupta kachite. So she is asleep. Mahanadi prakirna potam ashrita naliniva. So the upamanam that is given is just like a lotus hugs a boat, which is essentially floating in a large river. Mahanadila ஃப்ளோட் ஆயிருக்க கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய போத்தம். போத்தம்னா போட். அத்த ஒரு லோட்டஸ் எப்படி பிடிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோ அதே மாதிரி திஸ் லேடி இஸ் ஷைனிங் சம்பிரகாஷத்தை. மீனிங் இவளை கொடியிடையாள் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு. இஸ் கம்பேரிங் ஹர் டு அ லோட்டஸ். தி போட் இஸ் த வீணா and she is hugging her veena and then sleeping. So this is one among those ladies. Let's see what others are holding. Anya kakshagate naiva madduke nasite kshana prasupta bhamini bhati balaputreva vatsala. kakshagate naiva maddukena iva prasupta. Kakshagatenevana, she was holding something in her armpit. இப்படி கையில் இப்படி வச்சுருக்கா. என்னத்தை வச்சுருக்கா? She is holding what is known as a madduka. Madduka is a type of drum. And she is sleeping. Anyaha asitekshanaha vatsalaha balaputraha bhaminiva bhati. So there are other women who are dark-eyed. Okay, asitekshana. Sitekshana, asitekshana. அந்த சீதானா வெள்ளையா இருக்கிறதுக்கு அர்த்தம் சீதா. ஓகே, அசீதா அப்படிங்கிறது பிளாக். அசிதேக்ஷனா வத்சலாஹா பாலபுத்ரா. So as if they were holding their children, child in their armpits. That is how they were beautifully holding different instruments, basically drums here, and they were asleep. Okay, அடுத்தது पटहं चारु सर्वांगी पीड्य शेते शुभस्तनी चिरस्य रमणं लब्ध्वा परिष्वज्येव भामिनी. Another lady, चारु सर्वांगी. She is sarvanga sundari. எப்படி பார்த்தாலும் she is beautiful to look at. Subhastani bhamini. She had beautiful breasts and she is bhamini. She is full of beauty. Chirasya ramanam labdhva parishvajyeva pataham pidya shete. Pataham அப்படின்னாக்கா தம்பூரிக்கு பேரு பட்டகம். ஆக்சுவலி தம்பூரின்னு சொல்லக்கூடாது. இட்ஸ் கால்டு தவும்புரி. ஏன்னா தும்புரு நாரதர் அப்படின்றது மகர்ஷி இருக்கா இல்லையா? நாரதருடைய வீணைக்கு பேர் தெரியுமா? எனிபடி?
மகதி.
நீரத மகதி நிநாத கமகித ஷாமல கீதமு இல்லையா? சங்கராபரணத்தில் வருது. இட் இஸ் மகதி. லைக்வைஸ் தும்புரு அவர் வச்சிருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு மியூசிக்கல் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்டுக்கு பேரு தவும்புரி. ஸோ திஸ் லேடி ஷி வாஸ் ஆக்சுவலி ஹோல்டிங் தவும்புரி. தம்பூரின்னு சொல்லிடுறோம் இல்லையா? தப்பது. இட்ஸ் கால் தவும்புரி. இப்போ புதுசாக போய் சொன்னோன்னா அந்த மியூசிக்கல் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட் தேட ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டோம் எங்கே இருக்குன்னு. அதனால யார்கிட்ட எங்கே சொல்கிறோமோ கேர்ஃபுல்லாக சொல்லுங்க. சாரு சர்வாங்கி அவன் என்னத்தை பிடிச்சுட்டு இருக்கா? ஜஸ்ட் லைக் ஷீ ஹஸ் காட் ஹோல்ட் ஆஃப் ஹர் சிரஸ்ய ரமணம் லப்த்வா. யூ ஹவ் லாஸ்ட் யுவர் லவ் ஆஃப் யுவர் லைஃப் and you are waiting for him, and suddenly if somebody is, your love is available, is is standing in front of you and you are full of love, both are important, then you will go and hug him இல்லையா? அப்போ அது எப்படி இருக்குமோ அதே மாதிரி this lady was holding her தவும்புரி. That's how she was hugging. She was passionately holding on to the தவும்புரி, thinking that it's a love of her life, and sleeping. काचित्वंशं परिष्वज्य सुप्ता कमललोचना रह प्रियतमं गृह्य सकामेव च कामिनी. कामलोचना, कमललोचना, lotus eyed lady काचित् वंशं परिष्वज्य रहः प्रियतमं गृह्य सकामा कामिनीव सुप्ता. So she was sleeping. திஸ் மியூசிக்கல் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட் ஒன்றுன்னா மியூசிக்கல் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட் வருது பாருங்க. முதல்ல வீணை சொன்னோம் இல்லையா? அதுக்கப்புறம் ட்ரம்ஸ் வந்தது, அதுக்கப்புறம் தவும்பரி வந்தது. இப்போ சொல்லக்கூடியது வம்சம். வம்ஷீ நிநாதா சிஷோஹோ. வம்ஷீனாக்கா ஃப்ளூட்டுக்கு பேர் வம்சம். சில பேர் இதை லூட்டுன்னு கூட சொல்லுவார். இட்ஸ் an instrument called lute. Okay, so she was holding on to lute as if in privacy. Rahaha, Priyatamam grihya, as if you are holding on to your lover in secret. In such a manner, she was holding on to the lute and sleeping. Vipanchim parigrihyanya niyata nrittashalini nidra vashamanuprapta sahakanteva bhamini. The next lady, Nrittashalini, she is excellent in dancing. Anya, Vipanchim Parigrihya. Vipanchi is another musical instrument. It is apparently a 7-stringed lute. Okay, here is Swarangal Varakudia, instrument called lute. Parigrihya. Niyata, she is self-possessed. Okay. Sahakanta iva bhamini iva nidravasham anuprapta. She was nidravasham, she was asleep. And she was actually holding this lute and lying along with her lover. It's a very similar analogy to the previous slokam. Okay, she was thinking of the Vipanchi as if it is her lover. She is holding on to it and sleeping. Anya kanaka sankashaihi mrudupi nairmanoramaihi mridangam paripidyaangaihi prasupta mattalochana. Mattalochana, she is a lady with drunken eyes. கண்ணை பார்த்தாலே தெரிஞ்சிடும், எல்லோவா இருக்கும் இல்லை ரெட்டா இருக்கும் இல்லையா? அது பார்த்தாலே தெரியும், அவகிட்டே போகக்கூடாது. எய்தர் தே ஆர் வெரி ஆங்கிரி ஆர் தே ஆர் ஃபுல் ஆஃப் மதம். அன்யா கனக சங்காஷைஹி மிருது பீனைஹி. ஸோ ஹர் பாடி வாஸ் க்ளோயிங் லைக் கோல்டு அப்படிங்கிறார். அண்ட் ஷீ ஹேட் ஏ சாஃப்ட் அவுட்லுக் இன் ஹர் பாடி. மனோஹரேஹி அங்கைஹி. All her limbs were all very delightful to look at. What was she holding? Mridangam paripidya prasupta. So mridangata adichittu she is happily sleeping. So this is other musical instrument. Bhujapashvantarasthena kakshagena krishodari panavena saha anindya supta madakritashrama. So Anindya Krishodari, there is another lady who is and the Anindya usually we hear from people from West Bengal. Yeah, Anindya Chatterjee. Anindya is somebody who is flawless. Avala tappe solla mudiyadhu, nindaname panna mudiyadhu. Such people are called Anindya. Krishodari, she had gone to various yoga classes and gym, and she has a slender stomach. Krishodari. Madakrita Shrama, so she is exhausted because of being drunken. Bhujapashvantarasthena kakshagena panavena saha supta. So the musical instrument here is called panavam. I thought English translation path, it's called tabor, T-A-B-O-R. That's the instrument. Okay. So she was holding on to it, pressed to her chest. Bhujapashvantarasthena kakshagena, into her armpit. So the hold pani, she is sleeping. Dindimam parigrihyanya tathaiva sakta dindima prasupta tarunam vatsam upaguhyeva bhamini. Asakta dindima, she was holding on to a drum called dindimam. And the dum nadipam paranga periya dindima goshamne per irukku. Anya dindimam parigrihya, she was holding on to it. Tathaiva tarunam vatsam upaguhyaiva prasupta. The analogy here is she is holding on to a young child. Eppadi hug pandramo adhe madri hug panninde she is asleep. Kachidadambaram nari bhuja samyoga peditam kritva kamalapatrakshi prasupta madamohita. Kamalapatrakshi, another lady who has lotus eyes. Kachit nari adambaram bhuja samyoga peditam. Adambaram is the name of the instrument again. And she was holding on to it tightly in her arms. Kritva madamohita prasupta. She was again deluded with passion and she was asleep. Kalashima pavidhyanya prasupta bhati bhamini vasante pushpashabala maleva parimarjita. Kalashim apavidya prasupta. So another lady, she was fast asleep. Kalashata urutittu paduthindirukka. That kalasham apparently had water inside it. And how did this look like? Vasante Parimarjita Pushpashabala Maleva Bhati. So she is looking like, again, a garland of flowers, which is set aside and very beautiful to look at. That is the analogy that is given here. Panibhyam chakuchau kachite suvarna kalashopamau upaguhya bala supta nidra bala parajita. Kachite abala, abalannaka ஸ்திரீக்கு பேர், யாருக்கு பலமே இல்லையோ, இதெல்லாம் இப்போ யோசிக்கணும் அப்படியா அப்படின்ட்டு. Abalannaka, those who are in general, they lack strength. That's why they are called as abala, or they can be easily overpowered. Panibhyam suvarna kalashopamau kuchau upaguhya nidrabala parajita supta. Inga chinna kuழந்தைகள் தான் காதை முடிக்குங்க. So this lady, she was holding on to her chest. She was closing it with her own arms and sleeping. So that's the description that is given here. Anya kamala patrakshi purnendu sadrishanana anya malingya sushronim prasupta madavihvala. Kamala patrakshi purnendu sadrisha. She is like a full moon. Abdine solraringa. Anya madavihvala. She is drowned in drunkenness. She is very drowsy. Sushronim anyam alingya prasupta. Sushronina, one who has beautiful hips in artham. So she was actually embracing another lady there. இது ஏற்கனவே பார்த்திருக்கோம். இது அந்த காலத்திலே இருந்திருக்கு. ABCD சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, LGBTQ, அதெல்லாம் அந்த காலத்திலே இருந்திருக்கு. So that's why these things are known as, of course, I may be violating certain government rules and norms, but this is all called as Rakshasa Pravritti. Idhilendhu therivarudhu parunga. Who is somebody who will adopt this? Those who have Rakshasa Pravritti, where there is no dharmam. So such a thing will get qualified under these categories. But they were essentially sleeping along with ladies there. ஒரே ஒரு ராவணன் தானே, பாவம் இத்தனை பேர் இருக்கா, என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க? ஆதோத்யானி விசித்ராணி பரிஷ்வஜ்யா பராஸ்த்ரியः நிபீட்ய ச குச்சைः சுப்தாः காமின்யः காமுகானிவ. Varastriyah, there are beautiful, exquisite women there. Vichitrani atodhyani parishvajya. They are holding different types of musical instruments. Atodhyani na musical instruments. Kaminyah kamukaniva kuchaihi nipidya suptaha. They were holding on to the musical instruments on their chests, just like you would embrace your lover. So that this is what Hanuman is gazing, basically. Sutti paakrar. All through there are different musical instruments and people are holding on to it. Tasam ekanta vinyaste shayanam shaine shubhe dadarsha rupa sampannam aparam sa kapihi striyam. Saha kapihi tasam ekanta vinyaste, lying separately among them. He now noticed another person. So Shubhe Shayane Shayanam, she is sleeping on a excellent bed. Okay, separate avalukku reserve pannirukkaranga. Rupa Sampannam Striyam Dadarsha. So this is the entry for Mandodari. So she is somebody who is Rupa Sampanna. She is beautiful really to look at. And she was separately sleeping. Muktamani Samayuktaihi Bhushanai Suvibhushitam Vibhushayanti Mivatate Swashriya Bhavanottamam Gaurim Kanakavarnangim Ishtamantah Pureshwarim Kapir Mandodarim Tatra Shayanam Charurupinim. These two slokas go together. Kapihi Muktamni Samayuktaihi Bhushanaihi. So she is a lady who was again wearing different types of pearls and gems, ornaments which are encrusted with them. Suvibhushitam, nannaga alankaram pannirukkakoodiya swashriya tat bhavanottamam vibhushayanti miva. So she had such a brilliance even without the ornaments. That's what it means. And that was actually carrying over to the entire Bhavanam. Entire Bhavaname radiate aayindirukku. Okay. Vibhushan theme, Gaurim. So she is a woman of golden complexion. Adukku per dhaan Gauri. Okay. Ambalukku Gauri nu peru illaya. So here she is Kanakavarnabham, golden complexion. Ishtam Antapureshwarim. So she is perhaps one of the favorite queens of Ravana. Abdini decide pandraringa. Okay, this is Valmiki's words. Okay, I'll tell you why. Antapureshwarim tatra Shayanam Charu Rupini Mandodarim Dadarsha. So she is Charu Rupini. She is beautiful to look at. And her name is Mandodari. So she is somebody who Hanuman looked at, but Hanuman doesn't at that point of no, she is Mandodari. Okay, why? Satam Drishtva Mahabahu Bhushitam Marutatmajaha Tarkayamasa Siteti Rupa Yavana Sampada Harshena Mahata Yukto Nananda Haryuthapaha. Mahabahu, that is Hanuman. Saha Marutatmajaha Bhushitam Tam. So she is somebody who is really decorated and nice to look at. Avala paatittu drishtva Rupa Yavana Sampada. She is somebody who is endowed with both Rupam, Rupa Yavanam and Sampad. She is beautiful to look at. She is youthful and she is endowed with Shri or wealth. So idallam irukku. So she must be Sita. Siteti Tarkayamasa. So Tarkam அப்படின்னாக்கா என்ன அர்த்தம்? தர்க்கம்னாக்கா சண்டை போடுறது இல்லை, ஆர்குமெண்ட் போடுறதுக்கு பேர் தர்க்கம் கிடையாது. தர்க்கம் மீன்ஸ் it's a journey towards truth. Okay, so you use logic to ensure that you associate A with B in what is a normal thing to do, or what those who have buddhi will do. Buddhi illa tarkam panna the foolishness. So inga tarkathoda அவர் என்ன பண்ணார்? He deliberated that this is perhaps Sita Haryutapaha Mahata Harshena Yuktaha Nananda. So he instantaneously rejoiced, thinking that, oh, I have now achieved the goal of my visit. Abdin sollite, what does he do? Aspotayamasa chuchumba pucham Nananda chikrida jagau jagama Stambha narohan nipapata bhumau Nidarshayan swam prakritim kapinam. It describes the what do you do once you are completely filled with joy. IPL நடந்துருக்கு, KKR, RRR எல்லாரையும் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணுவோம். Whoever you support, the moment that team wins, அங்க கப்பு கிப்பு எல்லாத்தையும் தூக்கி போட்டுரும் இல்லையா, provided you are a passionate cricket fan. அதே மாதிரி இங்க what did Hanuman do? Aspotayamasa. He first clapped his hands. Okay, ஏய் கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டோன்னு சொல்லி கை தட்டினார். உச்சம் சுச்சும்பா. அவருக்கு இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு அழகான ஒரு அங்கம் என்னன்னா டெய்ல். அந்த டெய்லை பிடிச்சு அவர் முத்தம் கொடுத்தாராம். he kissed his tail. Okay, நனந்த சிக்ரீட, he completely joyful and சிக்ரீட அப்படி குதிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சார். he started to play around. ஜகௌ ஜகாமா, he started to sing different songs அப்படிங்கிறார். விசில் அடிச்சாரோ என்ன பண்ணாரோ தெரியல. he probably was very very happy there. Swam kapinam prakritim nidarshayanne. இதை பார்த்தா என்னன்னு தெரியும், இது ஒரு குரங்கு, சரியான குரங்கு அப்படின்றது அது பார்த்த உடனே நம்மளுக்கு தெரிய வரும் இல்லையா. So just by looking at the way he danced and rejoiced, you will be able to correlate that this is nothing but a vanara. Okay, that's what he displayed there. Nidarshayanne stambhan arohanne. So he is of course eminently capable of climbing pillars, and there is no lack of pillars in Ravana's place. So the Kattinde, he started to climb those pillars, and suddenly he bhumo nipapata, he also jumped down. So this basically displays, imagine he has spent so long a time going through different types of demons, ladies and all that. Finally he is seeing somebody who is endowed with beauties, youthfulness, and she is also sampath. Moonu irukku. So he perhaps thought this is Sita, and he is completely filled with joy. These are Valmiki's words. Okay. Ityashe Srimad Ramayane Valmiki Adikavye Chaturvimsha Sahasrikayam Samhidayam Sundara Kande Mandodari Darshanam Madashamas Sarga Samaptaha. We'll now move on to the next Sargam. So in the Sargam is full of, essentially a description of how not to lead life, isn't it? Especially, of course, Ravana is somebody who had all the eminence and preeminence as a Rakshasa and a Raja, who we have seen that he had legally acquired all the wives excepting Sita Mata, right? And nothing stops him from enjoying, in fact, even if you look at our Puranas, they do talk about kings, many worthy kings having many wives and having a ball of a time. That's all perfectly fine. The only key mistake he made was to take over Sita Mata, isn't it? So let's look at the next Sargam now. It is Panabhumi Vichayaha. So Panabhumi ne perichtar. So it's essentially a ballroom. In large hotels, you'll have the ballroom. This is further description of what all Hanuman is going to see there. But let's see now. Avadhuya chatam buddhim babhuvasthitastada asthitastada jagama chaparam chintam sitam pratimaha kapihi. So so he was very, very happy and he was jumping around. But suddenly he now realizes Mahakapihi tada tam buddhim avadhuya. So buddhi ngarde nischayatmika buddhi, isn't it? That which determines idam itham, this is what it is the sense of buddhi or intellect, right? And unfortunately, he now realizes that what my buddhi decided earlier, buddhimatam varishtam, I am going to reject myself. He is going to reject it. The judgment is now rejected. Avasthitaha babhuva. He stood there. Sitam prati aparam chintam jagama. He started to think of Sita once again. Why? Naramena viyukta sa swaptum arhati bhamini nabhoktum chapyalankartum napanam upasevitum nanyam naramupasthatum Suranam apicheshwaram nahi rama samah kaschite vidyate tridasheshwapi anyeyamiti nischitya vana bhumau chacharasaha. இது வரைக்கும் வச்சுப்போம். என்ன சொல்றாருங்க? Why does he reject his own judgment? அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு இங்க explanation கொடுக்கறாருங்க. Bhamini, that is about Sita. Ramena Viyukta, isn't it? She is somebody who is now separated from Rama. Can she sleep at all? Is the first question he asks. Swaptum na arhati. She cannot or she will not be peacefully sleeping. Leave alone the place he is seeing, the beautiful cots, couches, and etc. The ambience, first of all, doesn't suggest that. Secondly, she is somebody who will certainly not be sleeping. Narhati bhoktum na, she is somebody who will definitely not eat. And we are now going to see the Panabhumi Vichayaha. What all things we eat and drink will be seen in that Panabhumi. So he decides she is somebody who will not eat or sleep. Alankartum apina, she will not definitely be decorated with all the great ornaments we have seen. Yeah. Panam upasevitum apina, she will not be drinking also. Suranam ishwaram api anyam naram upasthatum nahi. Even though that person may be the god of gods, Suranam ishwaraha, she will not be sleeping with that person, right? Anyam naram, so she will not even think of another naraha. Kyo abdinaka, why? Rama samaha kaschit tridasheshwapi na vidyatehi. Is it not the fact that there is nobody equal to Rama, even in all the three lokas? Appadinu question panikrar Hanuman. In fact, this loka is treated as we have already seen. that in Srimad Ramayana there is very rare occurrences where the aspect of supremeness of Rama is spoken about. The fact that he is Lord Mahavishnu himself comes very rarely here and there in Srimad Ramayana. Okay, other than Dharma Sukshma, Acharyas will point us out as to this is where you will see that it is none other than avatar of Mahavishnu. Otherwise, it will look like a story of a man, a lady, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So in the shlokam is one of such slokas. Nahi Rama samah kaschite vidyate tridasheshvapi. This is taken as a proof, okay, that it is an avatara of Lord Mahavishnu himself. And nobody can beat him in all the three lokas. Iti nischitya saha pana bhumau chachara. He felt very dejected. Seri, idu Sita Mata kadayade. He immediately decides to stroll around the Pana Bhumi. Anyeyamati nischatya Pana bhumau chachara saha Kridite naparah klanta Gitena chatatha paraha Nrittena chaparah klantaha Pana viprahastastatha Murajeshu mrudangeshu Pitikasu samstitaha. So again, he now starts to look at different ladies there. How are they? So they were all fatigued after sporting with Ravana. Okay. Kridena klantaha. Gitena chasataparaha. They were all singing all through the night. Imagine Ravana had all the budget in place to host such a wonderful entertainment for him. And this used to happen every day or every night rather. Okay. That has to be kept in mind. An entire economy was driven by Ravana because of his, there should be somebody who will take care of all the musical instrumental. Yeah. They will all get into a state where you cannot use them. So they need repair. So there will be all kinds of craftsmen who are unavailable. Ultimately, he's somebody who boosted his economy. So Pura to Ravana, isn't it? But it's a different thing. Murajeshu, Mrudangeshu. So they are again ladies who are holding different types of musical instrument. And they are ladies who are Pana Vigrahagata. They were continuously drinking and therefore they were tired. Ladies who are holding Mrudangas, Murajas, and Pitikasu Samstitaha Aparastriya. They were sleeping on top of one another. Astarana Mukyeshu Samvishtaha. So they were sleeping on different couches and beds there. Okay. Tastarana Mukyeshu Samvishtaschaparastriyaha Angananam Sahasrena Bhushitena Vibhushanaihi Rupasallapashilena Yukta Gitartha Bhashina Deshakalabhiyuktena Yuktavakyabhidayini Ratabhirta Samsuptam Dadarsha Hariyutapaha Anyatrapi Varastrinam Rupasamlapashalinam. What all does he see there? Vibhushanihi Bhushitena Rupasallapashilena. They were actually capable of making arguments with each other. Yukta Gitartha Bhashina. They were able to speak in a proper language. And they were Desha Kalabhiyuktena. They were ladies who acquainted with appropriateness. In the Kalatle enna pesanamo, they were able to speak in such a manner. Idella eppadi innaka, he is looking at these ladies who are sleeping and making an inference, not when they are talking. That's the beauty of the whole thing. Hanuman Buddhimatam Varishtam. Just by looking at somebody, he'll make a judgment of who this person is. That's what we should keep in mind. And of course, some of them were adorned with ornaments. And they were actually also adept at showing the right expressions. So this is the scene. I think we'll conclude here today. And then take a look at some other interesting things in the next session. Okay. So we'll conclude our session here. Guru Charana Puja Nirbhara Bhaktaha Guru Charana Puja Nirbhara Bhaktaha संसारचिराद्भवमुक्तः गुरुचरणं भुज। कृष्णा कृष्णा सेन्द्रियमानस नियमादेवं द्रक्ष्यसि निज हृदयस्थं देवं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज ते ये कायेन वाचा मनसा इन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै श्रीमन्नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। सर्वं श्रीरामचन्द्रार्पणमस्तु। Have a great day and a week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raghavanji. Thank you.
Thank you, Raghavanji.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad, Meena.
Dhanyavad.
Namaskaram. Thank you.